Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Elle Daily Podcast. You're tuning in to our Off Limits series where we talk love, life, and the differences and surprising similarities between men and women. I'm your host, Ellen Roars, and here in Off Limits, we're not afraid to say the quiet parts out loud. We mix a little heart, a little humor, and a whole lot of honesty. So grab a drink, a journal, or just your undivided attention because this one's sweet. And I'll tell you, today's episode is kind of a grab bag, but the fancy curated kind just for you. We're going from man purses to poolside reflections, Vegas flashbacks to the real glow up. And when I say real glow up, I'm talking the best of the best, which is inner peace. And somehow you'll see how it all flows. It's about beauty, the kind that turns heads and the kind that holds your heart. It's about men evolving, women unlearning, super important, and the sweet spot where confidence meets wholeness. So, yeah, a little bit of a zigzag, but I promise the thread is there. You'll see it. So, let's ride it. All right. So, I'll tell you this last weekend, I was out grabbing a late lunch, as I often do solo, just working on my podcast notes, reflecting, enjoying this perfect day. And as I'm there, I'm just seeing a table of younger guys starting to collaborate together. It started as two, and then probably by the end of dinner, ended up being about eight of them. And I'll have to say, I was charmed, not in a flirtatious way, but in a wow, men are really evolving way. These were straight guys, maybe late 20s, early 30s. And I loved it because they were having this deep, emotionally fluid conversation. It wasn't just like the surfacey talk, almost like they'd known each other for years, which turns out they had. I chatted with them a little bit towards the end. But I loved one of the guys had asked the table if he could pull off a crossbody bag or a fanny pack. And dead serious, super just genuinely chatting. And he had said, I want your opinion. You know, you have great style. And it was just super refreshing to witness. And there was this emotional safety that I saw between them and an expressive brotherhood. So it made me wonder, is this what the next generation of men look like? If so, I am absolutely here for it. So another thing I wanted to kind of tie in, and again, you're going to see where the zigzags come together. But I was recently in Vegas, maybe 2 weekends ago with my sister. And, you know, what I saw in Vegas wasn't surprising, but it was a bit sobering for me. A lot of lessons that I learned about myself, but about others in general. And I'll say the first thing that I saw on day one at the pool was a 50-year-old man and women about half their age, all glammed up, trying super hard to please. And I just remember feeling like, man, it doesn't seem sexy. It seems straining. And oddly, I did not feel envious of their beautiful perky boobs and perky butt. I just felt grounded. And maybe that's what aging does to us. It defines what beauty even means. So, yes, I absolutely want to always take care of my external body or the body on the outside 100%. But there's so much more to beauty than the outer beauty that we have. So, it also, you're going to see where all these zigzags tie together. So, bear with me. I'm just bringing up some stories that came to mind. So, San Diego years ago, probably 15 years ago, in one of my early day jobs traveling, I'm doing an inventory list for one of my hospitals, and it was late, so there was a Chargers game that had just gotten out, and so the lobby kind of just started to fill up, and I'm sitting there working in the kind of the booth area where people wouldn't see me. And there's three gentlemen standing like where I can perfectly hear them, can kind of get a look of them, but they don't see me. And the conversation was just too good where I'm like, what is unfolding here? And I'll tell you, I hear kind of the ringleader gentleman is like, yeah, my favorite gal is, we'll just call her Lisa. So Lisa's bringing two of her best friends, and, you know, I'll let the two of you kind of decide which girl you want to go with. And he's like, just kind of see what makes the most sense for you. But Lisa's mine. And I'm like, are they dealing with escorts or what's going on here? But I was like, oh, just observing. There's a little chit chatting going on. And he's like, okay, so we can either just start with a drink or go up to our rooms, go our separate ways. And lo and behold, three women strut in and beautiful women. And then I see them connect, and you see Lisa go to the ringleader. And they're chatting and they're kind of doing their little mini conversations. And they're like, do you want to grab a drink at the bar? Or should we just head up? And I think the gals are like, we could just go ahead and head up. And so where was going with this. I just thought, wow, interesting. No judgment, but what really threw me off the next day, there's the ringleader. Now he's got a ring on his finger, left finger. So we all know that in America, the left, if you've got gold on your left finger, it means you're married. And so he wasn't married the night before. There was no ring on his finger the night before. None of them had rings on. So valet, we were both waiting. I think I was waiting for an Uber to get to the airport, and he was waiting. Up came his Porsche. He got in, and I thought, "Ooh, okay." Um, no, again, no judgment. Maybe this was their arrangement. If not, I felt, sorry for both of them, but I guess it just left me wondering. And this is why I bring it up. What are we all really chasing? So this can bring so much more about just the beauty within, and who's chasing whom. What is like the secret sauce? What are we all really looking for in the whole scheme of things? Sorry, I've got messages dinging left and right. All right. So on another positive note, I want to do a quick shout out to my sister, Emily Wheatley. She created the most fun video of our Vegas trip, and it is on her YouTube fashion channel. So check her out. It's as simple as her first and last name, Emily Wheatley. I will put the link in the notes, but you will see the outfits, the energy, the sisterhood. It's all there of this trip. She captured exactly how I felt: fierce, fabulous, and absolutely free. So again, links in the notes, watch it yourself, and maybe grab a little outfit inspo too. She's got men details on there once in a while as well. So check it out. But I'm circling back to these younger gentlemen at the restaurant. So these guys reminded me of the joy I had just chatting with my sister in Vegas. There we are, lounging at the pool, having, a deeper conversation, nothing surfacey, sipping a little bubbly, dreaming out loud. We talked about her family, fashion channel, my book, the next job that I would have, the man I would maybe eventually meet. She brought up a little bit about her hubby, and just, they've known each other a long time. So it's just fun to like really be chatting. We're both in our element. And it wasn't about attracting attention. I wasn't there to seek validation of 50-year-old men or have to chase them. It's just feeling good in our own skin. And that is really what it's about as we evolved. And, to be honest, I'll put another link. I had grabbed a book called The Art of Beauty 2 weeks prior to our Vegas trip. I had met some gals, and the author, her name is Casie Kindl. Check it out. I wish I would have had this book in my 20s. That's why I'm bringing it up for any of you younger gals and guys listening. I feel like the best part about going through this book now is I realize how far I've come in my days. I wish I would have had it in my younger days to really see the true beauty within, and that it isn't just about, having a tan or perky boobs, perky butt. But I'm going to drop that in the link as well. So going back to my sister, we both really laughed about how we aren't perky like we were in our 20 somethings, but we had something even better. And the thing that I didn't have as much in my 20s was the wisdom, that self-assurance, and the freedom to really be ourselves without apology. I feel like a lot of people pleasing was going on in my younger days. So super refreshing to just be unapologetically you. And I think we all strive to get there. And when you get there, it's a great feeling. And I'm happy to be here, happy to be unapologetically me. So Vegas is wild like that. You see every kind of person there. People in stilettos, sequins, others in sneakers and sweats. Some come for the food. That would be me. I'm all about the food in the pool. Some for the gambling. That's not so much me, but I love to watch the people just, spin. And I will say the world is just kind of spinning there. That's what people come to check it out from all over. It's a college of energy. It's a collage of energy, and I would say anything goes. So pretty awesome. So since we're talking about beauty, confidence, and coming home to yourself, let me give a little shout out to, something I've never promoted until now, but it's my own coaching offering. So I have a site. It's easy. It's the Elle Daily, just like this channel or podcast. So www.elledaily.com. So there's a whole list of all the services I have, even a 15-minute consultation if you want to explore maybe what's right for you. In the RTT therapy, it's a psychotherapy, a little bit more on going into the subconscious mind, a deep 90-minute session for transformational shifts. And then I've got the coaching alongside, and even some human design soul coaching, which is really great. If you're not familiar with that, reach out. I'll tell you a lot more about it. So everything is linked to my calendar. It's super easy to book a Calendly meeting and we can go from there. But I digress. I want to kind of wrap up our time together here and really just say, you know, over the years, I've become the woman that the journal that I mentioned to you would have helped me absolutely grow into. And so this power of inner beauty is huge. It really evolves for us over time. And the sooner we can develop it, the better. So, where does this inner beauty come from? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Where do you feel like it comes from? I'll tell you, for me, it's about integrating both the feminine and the masculine energy. You hear me talk about it all the time. And I think it's kind of the yin to the yang. And we both have feminine and masculine energy surging through us. So feminine energy is more the radiance, the compassion, the creativity. So even the guy or the gentleman from dinner the other day, or the happy hour that I saw, the gentleman hanging out, I definitely saw that compassion, the creativity with them, which is more of our feminine side. And then the masculine energy is more the direction, the confidence, the structure, which I know a lot of us ladies absolutely have, right? So we hold them both. And that is the beauty of it. We need them both. We need the balance. And when they're in harmony, when you've got strengths on both sides, both of your feminine, a little softer, the masculine, the confident, the strong, it's when we really glow. It's that glow up, that natural peace and inner harmony. So I really want to keep us focused on that. Alan Watts is someone I've loved over the years. If you don't know who he is, check him out. But he says, the meaning of life is just to be alive. I love that. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It's so true. And maybe the meaning of beauty is just to be whole inside and out. So I've been starting to end my podcast with reflective questions. So before, we talk about what really is off limits. I hope you're catching these because I see my Wi-Fi is kind of sketchy. All right. I'm going to hope for the best because I've recorded this. I don't want to start over. So let's hope for the best with this. But reflective questions to send you away with before we say what's off limits this week. What does inner beauty mean to you? Write it down or just think about it. What does inner beauty mean to you? Have you ever mistaken surface validation for true worth? And either, take some time to pause the video or pause the podcast and think about it, or just reflect on them later. When was the last time you felt radiant from inside and out? What do you admire in others that has nothing to do with looks? I know for me, I love a little charisma, a little bit of humor, somebody that's just positive and you can feel their vibe and their energy. Have you ever met someone whose inner beauty made them even more attractive? I find that way. I know a lot of ladies, we will say this, a man that isn't maybe the hottest out there, but he's just got this personality. He's gregarious. He's fun to be around. That'll go all day, every day for me, especially if he smells good. I don't know. You know me. I love my smells. I'm all about perfume and cologne and just it's one of my strongest senses. So sometimes I'll walk outside and if I smell lilacs or lily of the valley or something, it brings me back to certain memories. So it's kind of fun. Let me know if that's you or if it's just something I have. I don't know. But all right, before we officially say goodbye, a couple things that are off limits this week. I don't want any of us to dismiss, this is a tongue twister, to dismiss men's emotional evolution. I think we need to celebrate it. Don't you feel like the men are really coming around in a great way? So off limits to dismiss them and the many strengths about being a masculine man and having that emotional charge. I think it's great. I want us to not chase beauty without defining it ourselves. So where I'm saying with that, it's off limits to just go ahead and chase that beauty, but not to really be intentional about what is it really to you. I'm going to challenge you to not think you're too old, not think it's too late, or that you're too far behind. You are exactly where you need to be. You're never too old. You're never too late. We got to remember that. And then last thing that's off limits, assuming someone else's glow comes from perfection, when really it comes from peace. And I'll see it now, like in my building, I'm probably mid-range, but there's a lot of folks. There's one girl the other day in the elevator. It looked so uncomfortable, honestly. Well, you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm just going to say You don't have to be perfect. You just have to glow from within and love yourself and be totally authentic. It's as simple as it is. And the more you start to realize it, oh my gosh, the more freeing and the more radiant you are because you just feel awesome. So, wherever you are on your beauty journey, own it, honor it. I think it's great. We're all at different levels. I know in my 20s I was not where I am in my 40s, and that's okay. But this is our reminder. Let this be your reminder. You don't have to be younger. You don't have to be tanner. You don't have to have the fake jawline, the fake lips. You don't have to be thinner. You don't need any of that to be magnetic. You just have to be fully you, just your full, authentic self. With that, I just want to say thank you for being here. If you love today's episode or you found that it might be helpful to a friend, send it to a sister, a brother, or anyone that needs to hear it. And until next week, I will be sending you lots of love, but I'll see you next week with the same mic, same heart, and a little new story. All right. Lots of love. Bye.